All right, mesdames et messieurs. So, welcome to photosearch.com, and with this email, you got this welcome kit.zip file. If you double click on this file, you will see there is two subfolders. One is called Free Preset with Search American Night, Search Bad Weather, Search Basic, Search BW for black and white, and Search Urban Look. And then you got source files. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how you can install all these presets into Lightroom. So the first thing you do is you select all these folders, not the free preset, but the folders here. Search America, Bad Weather, you click Shift to select everything. You right click and you copy the 5 items. Then you go to Lightroom. You go to Lightroom, Preference. You go to the second tab called Presets. You click here and you click on Show Lightroom Preset folder. This folder, this window is going to pop up. So you're in Lightroom. Make sure you go into the subfolder called Develop Preset. There is tons of subfolders. The one you're looking for is this one, Develop Preset. Develop Preset. And you just press Command V, which I've already done. And so here's the different folders. You see they are in there. So that means the preset have been installed. You restart Lightroom, and which I've already done, and we are ready to rock and roll. So now let me show you some of the presets and what they can do. This is some of the most used preset that I have. I use them all the time, and it's a good starting point for a lot of photos. Preset is never going to be an end point. It's a good starting point. But let me give you a whole bunch of examples. So we're going to start off with this photo of Notre Dame, and you see you've got different folders. What I'm looking for is Search Basic. Search Basic is really my starting point in most classical photo. You know, I have this workflow where I can underexpose my photo. So this one, you see, if I go and click and over here, you know, put my mouse here, you can see on the top left the result: Basic Neutral, Basic Sunset, and Basic and Search Basic Drama. Let me show you. That's Basic Neutral. So if I click on it, it's going to apply it. It's already looking much better. Then I'm going to do Basic Sunset. Oh, that's pretty cool. The sunset's there. And then we have Search Basic Drama. Okay? Search Basic Drama, and that's that. So every preset, and as I said, it's a starting point. You know, you can always go in there, and maybe I would make this a little warmer. You can check here. You can click, for example, in a linear gradient here and see if there is some. You can see there's a little dot, so that means there is a gradient. You can erase it by clicking erase, or you can make it stronger or lower, you know, or you can adjust it to your photo, and you have to adjust it on every photo, but it's going to give you a good starting point. There's a little sensor dust here that I need to erase, you know, but in one click, you know, this is where we got. So if you press the backslash key on your keyboard, you should see the before and the after. One click. That's pretty cool. Let me show you another example. This is a photo I shot in Zion National Park. Again, a little underexposed. So if I click here on Basic Neutral, it's going to give me, you know, a neutral retouching. But if I go right to Search Basic Drama, which I think works really well on this one, it's good. It's a little too dark, so I'm going to make it brighter. I can click here on the radial filter. Always check to see if I'm using one. In this case, I am using one for the sun, so I'm going to put it over the sun. So I'm going to reset it, and then Command Z to show you what I did. Not bad for one click. Next one. This is a very underexposed photo of the sunrise in Paris. So this one again, let's check something else. Let's see what bad weather is going to give me. And I look at what bad weather is going to give me. I'm just looking up here to see if there's something cool. Bad weather is very blue. I don't like it. I think on this one I'm going to go again in the Basic Sunset. Yeah, I'm going to go to the Basic Sunset and not Search Basic Drama. And I'm just looking up here, see what's going on. It's too dark, so I'm going to make it brighter. And here is a radial circle. I know there's a radial circle here for the sun, so I'm going to put it where the sun is. And, you know, maybe I can add some more contrast, make it brighter. I can sort of crop it. You know, it's a starting point. But you see, if I reset the photo, this is the before, and Command Z, this is the after with one click. Let me show you some other presets. So this is a Merced River in Yosemite. Yosemite. And I'm going to use the black and white, the Amsterdam series. On this one, I'm going to go straight to this HAHAF stands for Ansel Adams. And you see you've got circle dark, circle light. So when a preset says circle, it means that there is some circle. They don't always say that, but that's a naming convention for the black and white. So on this one, I'm going to go, I think, in the middle one. I'm going to click. And right there, it looks a lot more dramatic. Maybe I'm going to go to the dark one. I think it works better. And I'm going to click here on circle. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of small circles there, which are sort of made to dodge and burn the photo and put attention in some parts of the photo. So you just move it to where you like. You can make the circles bigger if you want. You know, but again, you know, one click and, you know, and we have a great black and white. I can go here in the linear gradient and make this maybe a little higher or this a little lower. So I've got two gradients here in this one. Again, let me show you. Reset, Command Z. Pretty cool. Let me show you another black and white, another photo from Yosemite. So this one again, I'm going to be using this circle, dark or middle. And I think dark is going to give it to me again. Boom. Right there we have drama. I can make it slightly you know, lighter. I can use a radial circle, which is here. Put this on El Capitan. Put this on the Bright Veils Fall. Put this, you know, all I'm trying to do is this circle is break the tones. What I mean by that is, if you look at El Capitan without the circle, the grays are pretty similar. If I put a little circle of light onto it, it's just going to make the photo slightly more interesting. You know, one click. Let's do one more black and white. And this one I'm going to see, so I'm going to go directly to the search black and white. Maybe circle light. No. Middle. Yes, middle is not bad. Middle is not bad. And again, there is some circle that I could put one on a tree. I could put one here in the sky. It's always good to have one in the center of the photo so you focus the attention of the viewer. And you see you can transform photos really quickly by using this little thing. There's a little dust here which I'm going to get rid of. But again, let me show you the before. That's the before. And that's the after. And actually, I'm giving you this panorama so you can play around with it. Because you can go the other way. I can go, you know, I can go into the bad weather, for example, on this one. Let's see here. And do something completely different. Bad weather are going to give like a cool look to this photo. And, you know, different looks. Let me see if there's one that I like. Okay, maybe the first one. Sometimes it's lagging and you don't see what's going on. But again, you know, it's just a starting point. And I'm giving you this photo, so I'm just to show you that you don't have to, yeah, this one is kind of cool. I like this, you know, instead of going black and white. That's another way. Okay, let me show you some crazy presets I'm giving you also. And you have to spend time and explore them and see how they work on your photo. It's called the Surge Urban Looks. So let me show you this. I'm going to go, look at this. The BW Contracts Basic 3. Boom, one click. And I've got a very, very famous Instagram look. You know, this sort of contrasty, desaturated, where there's only yellow colors. One click, let me show you again, before, Command Z, after. Using this preset called BW Contracts Basic 3. Okay, that's another photo where I'm going to use the Surge Urban Looks to it. Let's see here. Let's see which one I'm going to be using. Yeah, I think, oh, I'm going to use the BW Contrast Yellow Orange. But again, starting point, I could make it a little bit brighter, you know, open more shadows, maybe crush a little less the black, but I got a cool look. Let me reset it, Command Z to show you again. And last but not least, I have a whole other series called the Surge American Night. The American Night was something used in cinema where you could turn daylight photo into night photo. So this one I'm going to use, let's see here, I think I'm going to use the American Night lighter. And check this out. And again, you have a whole bunch of circles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the circle over the small ones, over the lamps here. You see there is some lamps. And I'm going to put them. And honestly, it would take me about 20 minutes to refine this photo. But it can work. Because, you know, you have to recreate the light. I'm going to put a big, like when you have a big light, you can put a big light there. And let's see what is this. I'm going to put it here. And so I use a small circles for the lights, and I always have a big circle over it. So I can right click and duplicate, put this one over this light. Let's see here. Take this circle, duplicate it, and put it over this light here. This one is not in the right position. I'm going to put this one here. And then I need to get the bigger circle. I'm going to duplicate it. This one I'm going to put over here for the radiation of that lamp. Right click, duplicate, put it over here. Maybe for the radiation of that lamp. There's a bit of red here. That's a little bug that sometimes Lightroom has. That's all right. Okay, and this one over this one. I'm going to right click, take a smaller one again, right click, duplicate, and put it over this one. You know, so you have big circles and small circles. Small circles are really made for, you know, the lamps itself, and the big circle is for the radiation. And if you think they're too strong, you can just, you know, click on every single one of them, and you can lower. As I said, you know, I would probably spend a bit more time on this, but it's a cool thing. You know, you can try to use this type of photos and take a daylight photo of something cool and try to turn it into a night photo. This one has nothing to do there, so I can just erase it. And this one is not being used. I can just erase it. So let me show you. That's the final result that I did in a few minutes. That's the before, and that's the after. You know, and I would spend more time on it to make it more realistic, but it's cool. It is so cool. The Lightroom presets is going to give you a head start. So I'm giving you. You cannot resell the photo, but you can train with them. I'm giving you this photo. I'm giving you this panorama for the lavender fields, and I'm giving you this New York photo that you can play around with these presets. But by all means, try to use them on your own photos. Voila, this is my present to you for being part of the Photo Search community. You're going to receive 1 newsletter per day with a lot of promotion, you know, with great prices for my biggest course. You're also going to get a lot of free you know, tutorials twice a week with free goodies if you're subscribed to my newsletter. Plus, you know, follow my adventure on social media if you can. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy these presets.